Welcome to Girl Talk. If you haven't been out to Cambridge in a while, we recommend you take just a short little drive down the way. We're at Elisa's Stomping Grounds here in Cambridge, and we are filming at this gorgeous space in the Cambridge Winery Event Center. And what a lovely time we're
beautiful.
About to have. You guys enjoying yourselves so far today?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It's a great space and great people behind it too. Frank Peregrine is the proprietor. We'll be chatting with him about how the vineyards are doing and what's new in the winery and this event center that we're sitting in right now.
They have so much going on.
They really do.
I mean, what an incredible thing to take on, but a gorgeous space. They now are, bringing in a wonderful chef and a wonderful event coordinator. They have real estate going up. They have a fabulous tasting room in Madison that has been there for many years as well on Whitney Way. If you haven't been there, another great place to stop and check out. But one thing that we were discussing off camera that I think is nice is, for me, not venturing out of Madison too often, you forget actually that this is really very close, and it's such a beautiful, easy drive. It took me about 20 minutes to get here.
It's a straight shot, and like you said, it's a beautiful drive indeed. So Elise, what's your excuse for coming into Madison and coming in late to Girl Talk?
For always being late?
Yeah.
I don't know, I just have to do it a lot.
There's a lot to get ready.
Okay, on this topic, there's a study out that says that people who are late actually have a higher IQ.
There
so
you go.
I've got your back, girl.
Thanks.
Before we leave talking about Cambridge Winery, can I just talk about the logo? Have you guys noticed their logo? They have a very clever logo. It's a C and a W, but it looks like a little wine glass. I know you can't see it on camera. Maybe we can get a shot of it later, but I love that. I think that's very clever. Probably overlooked a little
I love
bit.
this.
I
One
thought she was
cellar. Okay, it's just the basement.
Cute.
Play along.
Who else we got, Jess?
All right, our point is we have a wonderful interview coming up so you can learn more about Cambridge Winery, the event space, and how you can plan an event here, brides, birthday parties, all of the above. So we'll talk about that later in the show. We've got two other fabulous guests that are joining us. One is a tough topic, and a topic that you may not know is existing in our area in such prevalence. We're talking about domestic abuse today. And there's a lot to cover, so it's going to be hard to talk about such a heavy topic in a short period of time. But what we're going to try and do is get some resources to you for folks who are struggling with domestic abuse, know somebody who may be, or just even from a prevention standpoint, because I think the statistics are going to be shocking. So please stay with us for that interview. Coming up right after the break, on a lighter note, we're talking sports.
Yes, the Madison Radicals. It's our AUDL team here, and they did pretty well this year. They had, I think it was like a 31 home game winning streak.
No big deal.
But yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Impressive.
So they just recently had their championship?
Yep, the championships for the whole league was held in Madison at Breeze Stevens, so huge turnout. So we'll kind of get an update about how that went for them.
We'll find out how that was after the break here on Girl Talk. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Girl Talk, and we are here at Cambridge Winery, and it is just a beautiful day here, and such a beautiful space.
Oh my gosh.
It's always so pretty when we stop by here. But first we are joined by Tim DeBile, and you are the coach and the general manager for the Madison Radicals, and that's the AUDL team here in Madison. So thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Now you guys just had your championship weekend not too long ago here. Well, I guess, we're just starting September now, so a little bit further back in August, and you guys lost in the semi-championship game.
We did.
But it was a great weekend. You guys had incredible turnout. So how did that game go? Because it was pretty wild from the last couple of minutes that I saw of the game.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much we had standing room only. It was the biggest crowd we've ever had at an AUDL game. And we started out really hot, and we were ahead the entire game until 34 seconds left to take the first lead.
Oh no.
And then we had two chances actually in the last 30 seconds to score. and we didn't tie it up. So it was a pretty frustrating game, but Madison really came out and supported us, and it was a really incredible event.
Right. Great game to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have awesome fans, like we've discussed before, an incredible season overall. So what did you think of the weekend in general? We won't focus on the one loss. Overall.
Well, I mean, it was great because I think a lot of the AUDL staff and other team owners from around the league and players from around the league came in and got to see sort of, you know, what playing in front of a crowd that big is. I mean, a lot of the other teams are drawing 300, 400, 500 people, so getting to see what a crowd of 3,300 people looks like, I think was really great for everybody. And you know, everybody had a great time, and so many people came up to us after and said that that was one of the coolest sporting events they've ever been to. And you know, there was people standing the entire game, and so it was, for us, it was really neat to go from 3 or 4 years ago where no one had even really heard of Ultimate to suddenly being like a kind of a big deal, at least in that one night we were.
I believe
I love
it.
that.
I mean, the athleticism, once you get into it and you see a game and realize how much athleticism it takes to play at that level in particular, it's really incredible to see. And so congratulations to you on a great season, even though it may not have ended exactly how you had planned.
Yeah, just a couple points short of where we were hoping to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And 3,300 people, I can't even imagine. What was it like playing in front of that size of a crowd?
Yeah, it was really neat, and it was so loud, and like, you know, just like I said, there was basically people standing around the entire field the entire game, and you know, the Mallards come out and serve great food and beer, and so I mean, it just seemed like a really great atmosphere, and it's at night, so the lights are on, and you know, if you've been in Breeze, it's this historic, really amazing stadium to be in, and I think it was the first time it's been full in a long, long time. So it was just
Well, that's a
neat
win in
experience.
itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was. It was a great win for Madison and the team and Ultimate, really. So, you know, it was a great night, and losing obviously has a little sting to it.
It still
but-
stings just a little
It
bit.
still stings even to
course
think
it
about
does.
it.
But what was your home game winning streak? We got to brag about you guys. a little
All
bit.
right, so we were on a 31-game home win
That's
streak.
pretty incredible.
And they, you know, it should have been 32. We were
Right.
just, you know, 1
Well,
point
of course
shy.
it stings then.
It stung I mean, honestly, for most of those fans, they'd never actually seen us lose before.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there were some kids crying, and, you know, it was
That's what I was just gonna say. Is no wonder it was so disappointing. You guys don't know what losing feels
Yeah,
like.
yeah, no, I mean, most of the fans had never seen us lose a game before,
Right.
so it was kind of crazy.
So overall, being the hosting team, would you say you were happy with how the weekend went?
Yeah, we really were, and we had, you know, lots of accolades from all the other owners and the league management and everything, and you know, they've already talked of like maybe we should just come back next year. And
Ooh.
so yeah, that would be pretty.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, so let's talk about next year. Now that we're hooked, when does 2017 start your season?
So we start in January. So we have a combine, and pretty much the 100 best players, kind of the Midwest, will come here, and we'll, you know, have some tryouts and basically pick the best 28 guys and start all over. And the season will officially kick off usually the first week in April.
Awesome. So starts really quick.
Yeah, we don't get a huge break. Yeah,
Right.
3
Well,
or 4 months.
Be sure to follow them on Facebook. You guys have a great Facebook page, and you can kind of stay tuned to what they're doing. Or if maybe you're thinking you want to try out yourself, if you think
Yeah, it's open combines. We've had guys come out from other sports and you know, make the team. So
Awesome.
it's
Interesting.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tim DeBile again, the coach and the GM for the Madison Radicals. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll be back with more Girl Talk. Stay tuned right after this.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming today at Cambridge Winery in Cambridge, Wisconsin, and we're going to catch up with those folks a little bit later to learn how their new business is growing, literally. But right now we are talking domestic abuse. And with us we have Allie Jiraki. She's with the Domestic Abuse Intervention Services. This is a serious topic. It affects families, communities, children, mental and physical health. The ripple effect is going on and on. Thanks for joining us today and talking to us about domestic abuse in our area. How prevalent is domestic violence in Dane County?
Unfortunately, it's extremely prevalent. We know 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will experience domestic violence in their lifetime, which is so common. And over a third of all referrals to the Dane County District Attorney's Office are related to domestic violence, which is even more shocking when you consider that only 25% of domestic violence cases are ever even reported. So we had about 16,000 calls to our helpline last year alone.
That's really surprising statistics. I mean, it's just maybe not a topic that, unless you're going through it, you think about regularly, and trying to grasp the fact that it is so prevalent right here in our own community is just surprising to me.
Right, it's not something people talk about very often.
Sure.
So what services are available to those who may be affected by domestic violence?
DAYS has a wide variety of services because we know survivors and victims have a wide variety of experiences and needs. So we operate the only emergency shelter in all of Dane County. We also have a 24-hour helpline. We have support group services, services for children from violent homes, legal advocacy, emergency safety planning, and then we also have education and prevention services out in the community as well.
Nice.
That's a long roster of services, but it sounds like it's a needed service for folks in Madison or group of services. But focusing more on the prevention side, let's talk a little bit about that, because ideally that's what we're going to see, right, is preventing domestic abuse from occurring in the first place. So what kind of prevention services do you have?
Yeah, so our prevention services are community-based, collaborative. They're all about getting to the root causes of domestic violence. And our prevention services are called MENS. It's called Men Encouraging Nonviolent Strength. We're working with middle school and high school aged men at community centers and high schools in the Madison area right now specifically. Talking about gender roles, unhealthy masculinity, media analysis, conflict resolution, communication, all of these different pieces that are going to help them be leaders on this issue and have healthier relationships and really create some social change around these issues as they go forward in their lives.
I love that, addressing men, young men. I think I've heard it said that most batters are men, but not all men are batters.
Exactly.
And if a little boy sees this growing up in his family, he's likely to carry that on into his future as well. So you're addressing this specifically by getting men more involved, and you have a new initiative that you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, we just launched a new initiative in June at our luncheon, which we're so excited about. It's called The Power of One. And this is specifically aimed at changing the frame of domestic violence from, people tend to think of it as a women's issue, but it's really a community issue. So you want to get everyone involved, but especially men. We heard from a lot of men that they want to get involved on this issue, but they didn't know how. So this is how to get involved. The Power of One, it's all about the power of one person, one interaction, one conversation to really make a difference in how our community thinks about and talks about and acts around domestic violence.
I think that's a really good point to make, because if you witness something or know of something happening, in domestic violence specifically, or really in any realm that you don't agree with, you tend to think that, well, what can I do?
Right.
That you would need to be part of a greater cause or organization, and what you're saying is one person really makes a difference, and that's what this is empowering.
And that's a big part of this is once you take the pledge for the Power of One campaign, which you can do on our website, you'll then get these monthly action emails. And in those action emails, it has steps of here's what you can do, here's what you can do this month, share the campaign, watch this video, they're different every month. Here's how you have this conversation around this issue, here's how you can be a role model, all of these different pieces to show people how they can really take action around this in the community.
That's awesome.
What an excellent note to end on. If you would like to get involved, you can sign that pledge and get some action items as well and get involved. Thank you so much. Again, this is Ali Jaraki. She's with Domestic Abuse Intervention Services, also known as DAYS. We'll be right back right after this.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We've been filming here at the beautiful Cambridge Winery in my home turf, right outside of Madison in Cambridge, Wisconsin.
Yes.
We're sitting here with Frank Peregrine. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you.
It's always
wonderful
a pleasure.
host.
Yeah.
You are, yes.
Well, thanks. Well, it's easy to be a host when you're in the wine business.
That's true, yeah. Not your first
And it's
hosting
easy
job.
to be a guest as well. Okay, so I know all about this because I've been to one of your wonderful, amazingly put together events here at the winery. But you've been open for about 6 months. How's it going?
Well, the event space is really gaining traction for us, which is very encouraging. We're getting 5 or 6 inquiries a week now for
Wow.
weddings in 2017 and 2018. I'm not sure which bride can plan out that far, but they are planning out
They do.
That's what brides do, right?
18 or 24
We've been
months.
planning this since we were 6.
Well, I get the feeling that some of them aren't even engaged yet. That this is maybe wishful thinking, and they want to reserve the space today while they can. So, this summer was a little bit quiet, only because it was our first time. I think
Sure.
all the 2016 weddings were somewhere else. We've had a number of other events, though, including a graduation party, a retirement party, birthday parties, several of those. So that's been going well. We also had a very last-minute event with the Cambridge Arts Council, where they have a concerts on the square every other Friday night during the summer. And it turned out there was a 90% chance of rain on one Friday, so we got a call Friday morning, can you bring it indoors tonight?
I remember this day well.
The answer was yes.
Yeah.
We brought it indoors, and it was a success, and sure enough, it did rain, so it was worthwhile doing that. So anyways, the event space is taking off, and we're very excited about that.
It's a gorgeous
Congratulations.
Yeah, we should
Yes.
say we're in the event space right now, and I know you can't see it on the TV, but huge panel of windows, just beautiful, not to mention what's behind us right here.
And
So-
the rack of wine doesn't hurt.
So Frank, if someone is interested, do you provide banquet services, or does someone need to get their own caterer?
We have a full kitchen. Somebody could bring their caterer, and that's an option. We often run into somebody who knows somebody in the business, or they want to butcher their own pig or something like that, and that is possible. We'd obviously want to make sure that fits within certain guidelines, but they don't have to do that. We've got a chef in the name of Noah Chabilski, who's been with some renowned restaurants in Madison. We were able to hire him this summer, and he's already put out great food. And often when we have a prospective bride or others that want to have a party, they'll come here, and Chef Noah will work up something for them, and they're sold right away. They say, this is what we want. So
Very good.
he's a great person to have on board, and we certainly are able to put on a big banquet ourselves.
I did take a peek at your little tasting menu, and it looks amazing. What
Is
a
that
great,
the first thing you did when you came
what
in?
a great
Looked
addition
at
to
the menu?
Cambridge, though. I mean, something different. It's fabulous.
Well, we've also
But
had,
yes, menus are my first priority.
we've hosted our first our pairing dinner just about a week ago, and we are planning to do one or more of those per month. The last one was sold out, and we have one coming up later in September. So we're also doing those sort of events to highlight our food and our wine both.
Wow,
great.
that's wonderful. And I like the fact that there's an option, especially when you're thinking about big events and brides and weddings and all of these things. What comes to mind to me is usually places have one or the other. Either you have to use their catering, or you have to bring something in from outside. And in this case, you have the option, so you get to fall in love with the space and then make your decision from there.
That's correct.
And I mean, it sounds like you're getting a lot of wonderful folks who are coming out and really excited to use the event space. It is so beautiful. But what do you recommend in terms of making a reservation? You said everything from sort of last minute to way in the future. What's best?
Well, of course, it's better to plan ahead because the space may not be available. We were lucky on that particular Friday. But the best way to get a hold of us would be to go to our website, which is cambridgewinery.com. And on there's an inquiry form that they can fill out. It tells us who they are and what dates they have in mind. And that goes right to our new event coordinator, Annalise, who's right here from Cambridge. She'll get back to those persons quickly and start talking about the particulars of the event. We start with the space and the availability, and then we move into food and other things from there.
That's so nice to have somebody on site that can help you navigate some of that planning.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's been a great addition. Between Noah and Annalise, we've really geared up our capabilities to handle big events.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
Well, and speaking of menus that I was taking a peek at, I noticed a few new wines as well.
Yes.
New bottles. What's new at the winery? Can you fill us in?
We just released our first Wisconsin wines, which are from the 2015 harvest. The 2016 harvest actually is starting right now. We just processed our first Brianna grapes earlier this week and will be processing throughout the month of September. Those wines won't be out until next year. But
Okay.
the 2015 wines are being released. We had 2 released in August. We have 4 wines being released in September. 3 of those are Wisconsin, one's a California wine. So the California wine's not going away. We're just supplementing it and enhancing the product line with our Wisconsin wine. So anyone who wants to come out and try a local product, we certainly have those.
How
on
exciting
the
for
shelf
you
now.
guys.
Yep.
I'm dying to know how your baby's doing, your vineyards.
The vineyard is coming along nicely. We had great success through last winter with those that we planted in 2015. About 4 acres. I think we lost 2 plants out of close to 2,000. So,
Oh, good.
so that was.
I mean, not good that you lost them, but it could have. I heard it going a lot worse for others.
And so that was encouraging. This year we planted about 2,500 more vines.
Wow.
So we have about 9 acres in total planted out there. We might get some harvest next year from those vines, but we're looking at 2018 being the first year for that. In the meantime, we're buying fruit from other growers, which is where our Wisconsin wines are coming from today.
Yeah, you say it typically takes 3 years, right, for your grapes to be ready, your vineyard?
Correct. This will be the 3rd year next year, and we might wait till the 4th. We'll see how healthy the plants are next year.
And we've got to go because we're about out of time, but I also want to mention your other baby is the tasting room on Whitney Way, and you've had sort of a facelift there, so we'll have to talk about that a little bit more another time. But a great place to go and do some tasting if you're a little bit closer to Madison.
Yes, absolutely. So stop in, join us here in Cambridge. Come check out the winery. Frank, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time here on Channel 57.